Our top focus right now is Manipur. In an unusual move, Manipur Security Advisor Kuldeep Singh and Director General of Police Rajiv Singh have issued a joint statement stating that the recent intelligence inputs issued by the Chief Minister's office that 900 militants had entered the state through Myanmar could not be substantiated on the ground. Meanwhile, Chief Minister N. Singh has also backtracked on the earlier intelligence inputs. This intelligence input was leaked and circulated widely on the 17th of September. It went on to suggest that intruding militants were trained to use drone-based bombs, projectiles, missiles and jungle warfare, thus causing panic amongst the people. Meanwhile, masked individuals have partially damaged a Hindu temple in the Senapati district by setting its compound on fire at night. As per reports, residents and temple caretakers managed to douse the fire before it spread. Although this input source has been now rejected, the reality is that arms and ammunition are being seized in Manipur on a daily basis. Rampant drone attacks have taken place, houses have been torched, and now Hindu temples are being targeted as well. With that in focus, it is important for us to continue the probe and keep asking the question, who really is trying to instill fear and terror amongst the people of Manipur, and who benefits from this chaos the most? I take this conversation forward. I have with me Major General G.G. Dwivedi, defense expert, Mr. P.K. Mishra, former ADG, BSF and CRPF, also with us, Dr. Seram Rajesh from the Delhi Mighty Coordination Committee, also with us is Major Mohammad Ali Shah, and we have Professor Swan Hosing, former head of the Department of Political Science at the University of Hyderabad. I begin this conversation with Mr. P.K. Mishra. Mr. Mishra, when an intel report of this nature comes out, as it has in the case of Manipur, that 900 militants have entered via Myanmar, the Chief Minister's office releases this report, but the security agencies find that there is no substance really to it. How do the security agencies then really go about in assessing whether there is any substance to an intel report or not? Mr. P.K. Mishra, can you hear me?
I can hear you at only 1%. Which is the question? Please tell me.
Mr. P.K. Mishra, I'm trying to understand from your perspective, sir, as former ADG of BSF and CRPF, when a report of this magnitude stating that 900 militants have infiltrated via the Myanmar border into Manipur, when that comes out in the public, it's shared by the Chief Minister's office, and then the security forces find that there is no substance to the report on the ground, how exactly do the security forces go about this entire procedure of understanding which intel report should be looked into and which one needs to be rubbished?
Yes, I can tell you the way the security advisor held a meeting there at Imphal that 900 militants will be coming in more or less in 30 groups in a strength of 25 to 35 as it is, and they will be taking action against mighties and mighty villages to start with from 28th. I don't know in what way he received the messages, he received the input from the field, but it was not a matter of fact, it was never, it could not be proved by any security agencies, and in fact, two security agencies asked also security advisor as to how this intelligence input was received by him, which could not be proved underground. And mostly the Kuki tribes in Sura, Chandpur, Chandel, and all other areas, maybe in Jiribam also, they were all unhappy to know that there was a charge against them that 900 Kukis are coming with weapons and they will penetrate it and they will fight. They will fire weapons against mighties, and that proved to be wrong. So this shows that the region for which it was this meeting was held and the media briefing was done, it was not in a good taste for some. I mean, maybe for the cookies, they did not take it in good taste, and that is how. But the way now things are bad at Jiribam. I can well tell you the Jiribam blockade is there, the NS 37 is blocked, but the way they are asking the sub-divisional office to be changed from Tamiglong to the other place, that is, let us see how far the government will accept it. But whole thing, what is coming from NS 37, this is the lifeline. This is one of the lifeline to all and the Manipur. And most of the trucks are lying idle there. They are not being allowed, excluding emergency trucks which are carrying maybe medicines, maybe other things, other fuel and all. Otherwise, everything they have blocked. This shows that we are heading for trouble. And if Jiribam is boiling for the last 1 month, if Jiribam, there was a fight between two ethnic groups. If we know it properly, how come Jiribam block has happened and why can't we open the road? Why, what for the security personnel are there? Why they cannot secure a particular road, the lifeline of Manipur? It is the same to the security department if they cannot open the road. This is something,
Okay.
I mean, if Nagas will close the road coming from Dimapur and here from Silchar, the road coming Jiribam, your own people will close the road. Where the local people will go? Where Manipuris will go? Why they are suffering? Why you have kept 60,000 troops in that state? Why can't you open 24 hours that particular route? This
Okay.
is not on. And see in Senapati, if they were going to torch a temple, up to what extent they are going? This is something wrong. And
Okay.
nice of it, Assam Rifles and BSF and Manipur police, they have recovered a large number of weapons from Chora Chandpur.
Yes,
acting
yes,
them
and on that, Mr. PK Mishra, I want to
information.
bring in Major General Gigi Dwivedi into the conversation as well. Major General Gigi Dwivedi, what do you make of the government first, the government of Manipur first, letting the public know about this intel report that has come about, and then of course retracting, or rather saying that okay, nothing really substantiative has been found on the ground? Does that somewhere hamper the trust building process?
Yeah, I think I lost. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, we can.
Yes. Okay, I got your question. Devika, this report came up for discussion on your channel a couple of days back, and I had made a very categorical point that reports of such nature must be corroborated, verified, and then only made public. And this I can talk from experience of a large number of years in the army, and especially as GOC in the Manipur region. Well, coming to this report per se, first and foremost, why this report and why the turn by the people, why the volte-face? The question is that there is no clear, chain of command. Now there are a number of agencies which are working, and they're working at cross purposes. I just did a op-ed only yesterday in Tribune and made out a couple of points. Firstly, you have to fix the chain of command and the channel. So what is happening is the unified headquarters, which is under the advisor, security advisor, is directly reporting to the MHA, Ministry of Home Affairs, and Chief Minister is not in the loop. And similarly, the agencies, they are also working in compartments. When such a report comes, what is the process? You first corroborate because there is raw information. After that, you synthesize, and then once verified, only it is made public, which has not been done. So what does it? It does a great deal of damage because there is loss of credibility on the leadership. And this is exactly what happened, that the Pookie groups, they took it very offensive on this report, and then they protested, and there was a lockdown statewide. Now, couple of points which merit attention, Devika. First and foremost, this sort of thing will continue lest we refine the command and control procedure. Who is responsible? Because there are two different channels working, one under the Chief Minister Office, another under the Security Advisor. First point. Secondly, when The operations have to be carried out. Just now, ADG Ms. Raj brought out that why can't the road be open? In fact, incidentally, in 2005, my division opened the road from Jiribam to Imphal. But there has to be clear orders, clear mandate. Because that time the road was blocked at Vangai and Kamai and Nonai. So we opened the road. But today there is no clear-cut direction to the security forces. Because security forces are just doing a buffer zone management, or they are just coming when they are ordered. But there has to be very clear-cut responsibility. So all I can say is that the strategic operation group under the chief minister must coordinate with the unified headquarters. There should be single agency which should be controlling these complete operations. Armed forces must be given very clear mandate. Today there is Armed Forces Special Power Act is not there in the valley, it is in the hills. So all the valley groups are free. That they're carrying the arms, they're carrying all the type of activities. That must be also tidied up. And the third very important point is our borders are open. The arms smuggling is taking place. The 6,000 arms which are looted, only about 1,200 have come back. Rest are all in the hands of the various groups. And these groups are working as the private militia, UNLF, PLA, Pre-Pak, KYKLAR with the Metis, and then the Kuki Liberation Army is with the Kukis. Now this needs to be sorted out. And my last point is Manipur today is out of control. Central government must impose presidential order. Armed forces must be asked to come in and disarm the group, bringing some semblance of normalcy so that fresh elections can take place and the political issue that is there can be solved politically. Devika.
To the conversation as well. Dr. Seram Rajesh, as far as this latest attack on a Hindu temple is concerned, what exactly are you learning about the situation on the ground? Are you being able to speak to the people in Manipur? What exactly are they telling you?
Devika, in fact, this attack on the Hindu temple is not the first, and this has been going on from very long time back. Before the 3rd May of the happened in that Senapati area, the Communal temple was burned down by the miscreant in the Kuki-dominated area in 2020. So I think the Meitei temple targeting in Senapati and ILP protecting religious places by the secular forces. So this has been going on, and it is not against only the Christian groups happening. So on this present context, actually this clearly shows that there's a security collapse of the coordination between the security advisors and the military. And actually you also found that the military army have actually tweeted that whether the information was right or wrong. So in situation where the security apparatus, whether army, Assam Rifle, police and security advisor, they have totally collapsed, and they actually give a chance to the larger sectoral forces to put off the separate administration agenda, because even the security forces, this advisor, if he says something, then the Kuki will always blame the Meitei. Whether it is a security advisor, whether it's the prime minister, whether it's the home minister, these sectarian forces will always target the Meitei as a community. This is very unfortunate. Number 2.
But Dr. Seram Rajesh, is that also not true then for the Meitei community as well? Say you say that the Kukis will always target the Meiteis, but do the Meiteis also not always target the Kukis? Are both the communities being able to see any sort of middle ground?
This is not the case. Look at these press releases happening in the last 2-3 days. All this, I don't want to name all these Kuki organizations. The lapses of the security was with the security advisor and all the military personnel, but they did not attack the security advisor, but they attacked the Meitei community, because their target is always on the Meitei, because they wanted to capitalize such kind of issues always for the separation. So this is the issue. The problem is, again, even the chief ministers or any other government official gives some advisory that there is some suspicion, then the security advisor should have already, and the security advisor on the press conference very confidently said that until and unless these issues, these reports are not proven wrong, then we cannot actually, deny the report. So that was already made in publicly, but today, because of some protest by the community, now the intelligence input or any of these sources have been completely denied. But of course, when the security forces are saying that there may be attack happen on 28, literally they will not do. But who will guarantee that the Meitei will not be attacked by these Kuki sectarian forces in the following months? For example, I will give an example. In the month of January, the Chief Minister's office has sent an advisory to the DGP that the many militants have already crossed in the month of January, that they may attack in the Jiribam, but after 5 months that attack happened. As you know, that it was attacked in June 6th, that one Meitei was killed. Again, how many, like this kind of attack has been going on whenever there is a peaceful atmosphere in the last 1 year. I give you a small example on the 28th May. Again, on 28th May, there was a coordinated attack happened in last year, that when the chief of the army was there, 13 places were attacked by the Kuki militants in all over Manipur. But where was the intelligence sources? People did not know. There was no action follow-up by the military, by the army, by security forces against them. Again, in the month of January,
Okay.
the 5 days.
Okay, unfortunately, I seem to be losing that line with Dr. Seram Rajesh. Dr. Rajesh, I will come back to you. I'm having a lot of trouble with your internet connection there, sir. We keep losing your voice. If we can just look into that. I want to bring on that note Professor Swan Housing as well. Professor Swan, you've heard what Dr. Seram Rajesh has also had to say. I want to understand from your perspective, the government releasing reports, retracting it, temples now being set on fire as well in the middle of the night. How is it the Metis say it's the Kukis say it's the Metis? How is it that nobody knows who's actually operating in Manipur?
Divika, thank you for having me on board. I think you need to understand the method in this madness, and there is a clear pattern in this premeditated, misinformation campaign, which unfortunately the Chief Minister Office has become. And the very fact that the Chief Minister Office itself gaslight its own, so-called intelligence input, which in effect was early on countered by the spear crops in their official tweet, which was under pressure, asked to retract, shows that it is very, very shoddy as well as very shameful on the part of the highest office of the state to indulge in a malicious campaign against a particular community, which is a clear pattern to target the Kukis as if they are, the source of trouble in this violence, which is now definitely busted and ripped apart by this gaslighting by the Chief Minister Office press release, which also essentially points to the fore, the problematic contention and claim that the Kukis use sophisticated drones and rocket, weaponry to attack the Meiteis. In effect, this could also very well be a part of a very calibrated, calculated misinformation campaign to, in effect, pose the Kukis as the perpetrator of this violence, which in effect is now busted by this press release. The second part to this story, of course, is let us also understand for a fact that all this pattern of misinformation campaigns flows as a deliberate, calculated attempt to deflect the Manipur tape in which the Chief Minister is allegedly self-incriminating in his direct involvement in this violence. And this is precisely where the bent of suspicion and the thorough examination have to be conducted fast so that a semblance of justice as well as fairness is established. The third point, which I think is also important, is the fact that this gaslighting of the intelligence, so-called intelligence report also suggests that it rip apart these overwhelming, mobilization in the valley areas, that there is a lack of coordination between the unified command force and the Chief Minister, having been rendered, powerless. This gaslighting of these, intelligence report suggests that the master of all of this, who calls the shot in Manipur, is not the security advisor who is put in the hands of unified chain of command, but it is the chief minister. In fact, the very fact that the security advisor has to do the bidding of the political master also shows that his position becomes totally untenable. And in fact, because of this partisan attitude of the security advisor, that he would do the bidding of the chief minister without authenticating the veracity of the security intelligence,
Right.
I think gaslighting of such,
Yes,
intelligence
that's a very
report
fair
shows
point.
the
That's a very
Mallam
fair
idea as
point
well
that's
as
being
Malik-
raised by Professor Swan. Professor Swan, yes, I understand your point. I want to bring in Major Mohammad Ali Shah into the conversation as well. Major Shah, you've heard what the two voices from Manipur have also had to say on the matter. Professor Swan as well as Dr. Rajesh, I want to understand from your perspective, when they say that the security advisor in the chief minister's office is releasing a report that clearly states 900 Kuki militants have infiltrated from Myanmar into Manipur, and then retracts that the office retracts that a few days later, does that once again create a wedge in an effort to actually speak to both the communities and build trust amongst them?
Right, Devika, that's a very, very good question. Yes, it does bring in a wedge and distrust among the communities, unfortunately and sadly, because it is okay when the input is coming in, you are doing your job. You are only taking precautions, you are just advising people that this is the information you've received, you've got to be careful and this is what's going to happen. And the report was 900 Kuki militants are waiting to cross over from Myanmar. They would be operating in small groups of 30 of them, and they would strike attacks in Maite villages around 28th of September was the input that had come in. Now I believe it's been retracted. Now, rather had you just given the input, there was a lot of bad blood caused within the Maite community, in the Kuki tribe, in fact, about this. So rather had one just done the damage and kept quiet about it. Now it's been done, it's in the report. That's a different story. But now when you are retracting that statement and saying that there is nothing to substantiate it, as Jan Govind said, when there is an intelligence report coming in, first you should substantiate it. Secondly, okay, agreed. With all good intentions, you do it. You have good intentions. You are very well meaning. I would. But then at the same time, it is slightly embarrassing when you retract, when you have to go back on your word. When you have given a word, for example, I'm giving it. Then Govind said that, when you give out an input, there has to be a substantive method. In the press conference, Mr. Kuldeep Singh said that the report has to be considered too wrong. And they haven't been able to get any proof on that as of now. So I think, that's my personal take, his intentions might have been good. People are misunderstanding his intentions that, it's to malign a particular community and this and that. Let us take a step back, sit back, take a deep breath, and like mature individuals, and analyze this. How and what had happened. So maybe his intentions were good. Maybe he did not want that to happen there is some error with your screen anyhow. Maybe he didn't want that to happen between the community. He didn't want tensions to go in there. But at the same time, I would say that, it is important to understand that people have to take back. I don't think it was intention to malign the Kukis. The Kukis are wonderful people. Everyone knows that. The Maitis are also wonderful people. Everyone knows that. Two communities who have been living like brothers, never fought, never had a history of fights in the past, and now suddenly they are sworn and bitter enemies of each other. I've been trying to make my efforts to get the communities to talk. I have had the honor of interviewing both the gentlemen over here. In fact, Dr. Rajesh and Professor Swan. In fact, I've been speaking to them. I've been speaking to General Govind over the phone over there as well. And for which I've also been awarded the Director General Assam Rifles Commendation Card, with a lot of pride on my chest. Now the very fact is, I'll give you for example, what you are showing on your screen about the temple attack, which happened at 2 a.m. at night in the middle of darkness. This gentleman who comes in, the CCTV camera caught him, he looks at no one's around, takes precaution, hides behind a pillar, runs away, scoots off. It's but obvious it's someone's malicious design to make the communities fight. Irrespective, the Maitis are saying the cookies done it, the cookies saying the Maitis have done it. Whoever has done it, one thing is very clear, that person has got ill intentions. The intention behind attacking a temple is very simple, to invoke passions among people. Obviously, nobody will like it. A place of religion, a place of worship is sacred and it's very, very personal. It should be left alone. The burning of temples, the burning of churches, not acceptable. The destruction of any place of worship, not acceptable. It will flare passion unnecessarily. So people are, there is someone that needs to be investigated, caught and brought to the book. Who is that someone? Who is trying to make the...
Okay.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.